Hello everyone, my name is Doris. So today we are going to talk about setting up Python on Windows using conda and mamba. So first of all, why are we using conda or mamba? What is conda and what is mamba? Conda is a package manager for Python. And so to take an example for this purpose, we'll use this jupyterhub, for example. So this is our search engine, and let's Google this jupyterhub. So jupyterhub is a Python package which serves Jupyter notebooks as servers. So it contains a server side and other things. And let's search the installation of this package. So we can see that this is the official website, and we open this link. It jumps here and we check installation. So we see that there are some prerequisites for Linux, and so we have to sudo to install the Node.js and npm first, which includes, of course, the binary of the server side. And then we install with Python the jupyterhub and some jupyterlab notebook. These are the Python packages. But before this step, we need to install the binary of the server side, which is the Node.js and npm. However, compared to the conda part, and the conda is only installing from the conda side. So we don't have to install the Node.js and npm by ourselves. We can just install the conda to the jupyterhub and jupyterlab notebook, and everything is included. So that is the positive side of this conda and mamba management. And it includes the binary part of other related libraries. So you do not have to compile and get the binary installation by yourself. And you can just install every binary through conda as long as binary is there, packaged well with the conda system. So let's also search for another part, which is the conda install jupyterhub. And so we are looking for something associated with conda. And so we see that this is a direct association. And we open this link, and we can see that quite a few information, and given it also gave the direct command to install this jupyterhub via this conda management system. And so we notice that the conda this is the command itself, this is the option, this is the C is representing the channel, and the conda forge is a very good channel that already packaged a variety of packages inside. And the jupyterhub is the name of the package. And so it is quite simple because they already released these binaries through this channel. And so there are other useful channels as anaconda and bioconda and everything else. And we can also see that this is the built binary on different platforms, also give you the version number. And so we see that Linux, Mac OS, and Windows 64, they are all supported. So this is the beneficial part of conda. So what is mamba instead? So first, we have the conda system. It manages every packages. However, conda needs to search through the packages you need and resolve the conflicts. And so it takes time. Well, conda is a little bit not quite efficient because it takes a long time sometimes. And so that's the reason mamba was invented. And so mamba is a more efficient version of conda. And so a lot of the commands, they are just the same. If you replace the conda with mamba, it works directly. And only that mamba takes a shorter time. So that's the highlight of the mamba. So let's start let's look at our content first. And so of course, this gives you a solid reason for why we are using conda and mamba. And then the second, and so for our overview contents, we are going to see how to use conda and mamba to manage our Python environment. And also we are starting from zero and assuming we don't know much, and we use the search engine a lot to navigate around the contents. And the third part, which is the key, that we are going to set up Jupyter Notebook which is a very good tool that can help us to build presentation slides and other things, and the widgets, a lot of useful stuff. And especially some new languages, they're also integrating into this Python Jupyter notebook. For example, like Julia and Kotlin. Some other things, they're establishing the Jupyter support. And so this is going to be our key content today. And so we are going to cover it with 7 steps. And so let's go to the first one. So the first one is to install this mamba. And so we see that the name is called minimamba. However, it is a Python package that is a distribution that is utilizing this famous channel under the conda system. It's called conda forge. So that's the reason its name was named as mini forge. And so it's a minimal packaging of Python packages within the conda forge channel. So let's search this through our search engine. So we type this mini forge GitHub, and this is the thing we are looking for. And we see that there it is. And we open this link, and we navigate through the contents, and we see that this is the mini forge, and it has the download section. And the first is the mini forge 3, which is for Python 3. And we see that the 3 platforms are all supported. And we all see that there's a thing called PyPy3, which is another implementation of the Python interpreter. So we ignore that, and we go straight to this mamba forge. So the difference between mamba forge and mini forge is that the mini forge is only including the conda manager. However, this mamba forge, it has both conda and mamba. So mamba basically is a more efficient version of conda itself. And so it includes both condas. So conda is also available, and we can also have access to mamba. So this is the recommended way to install this mamba forge. And so we're on Windows. So we're installing this mamba forge Windows version. And so we click on this, and it's downloading. And so for some security purpose, we need to say, I'll keep this executable. And then it is there. Yes. And so then we open this file. And so normally installing through this installer process, we agree. And this is a critical step, because if we install for all users, and all users on this machine will have access to this mamba forge. However, in a newer Windows like Windows 10 and 11, it introduces some difficulty for permissions. And so like it installs directly under C drive, and sometimes you don't have the permission. That is troublesome. And so that's the reason we just choose to just me to avoid the permission problems there. And so this will install it to my personal folder. And so will makes everything easier basically. And so we go to next, and so this is the installation directory, and we check that this is the user and my name, and this is the member. So where it is, and let's navigate through our folder browser. And so basically it's here, this is the user, and this is my name. And so basically it will be under here. And so then we go back, we confirm the location, and we also you may change this as well, and so this should not be a problem. Another thing is if we should add the environmental variables, the paths. And so if we are checking this will, you'll see that it is red, and it is not recommended because it adds the environmental variable to the paths, and as a result, when you type this command line, it will be added to this directly, and will initiate every time you open this command line prompt. So this is not recommended because sometimes it may introduce some conflicts. and you have to manually remove it if you uninstall this Mamba Forge. So essentially, it's not recommended in that way, and we do not check it. So then it is the installation. We see that this package is not large, and so it's not supposed to take very long. And the installation should happen here, and so we keep this window. And also this is our browser. And so we have this page already. And so close this one. And this is an example. And we close this one as well. And so this is Anaconda. So this is the illustration of the package associated to the channel. And so we keep this as of now. And let's see if this still has some parts to run. And let's review. And so we are now installing. Oh, great, it's complete. And so let's go to next and finish it like that. So now comes to a key part. If we are typing the command prompt as we didn't add environmental variables, so nothing happens to this, and still it was like the beginning. And however, we should see some option here. Yes, like under the M, this is the mini forge. And this is the mini forge. This is the so this is our exe file, and so this is the base, and we are seeing. And so now you see that when we are opening the direct command line prompt, there's nothing like this base. And while we are opening through the Mamba forge, actually it's named as mini forge, still mini forge anyway, and still it's Mamba. And we see that this is mini forge prompt, and we see that there is a base. So now we have already installed this, and we are going to check if this conda and mamba, if it is there. Of course, under this, the original command line prompt, and we type conda, we see that conda is not recognized. The same should happen to mamba because we didn't add the path environment variable, and that's the reason. And so that's this is just to show that because the environmental variable is not there, so this is not working for us. However, if we open this command line prompt from the mini conda part, and we see that there is a base. And under here, if we type conda, and we see that it gives you a variety of options, and which means the conda command is working. And samely, we do the mamba command, and we see that it also works. And so mamba command is also available. And we see also that the options, they are quite similar to each other. So that's basically what it is. And mamba is an upgraded version for conda, as it is more efficient in time. So now after installing the mamba system, and we will add some channels to this. And so first of all, let's review what is there as the this command. And so we see that there should be something that's configure, and but let's Google it. Let's say conda add channel. So this is a typical way of know what to type as the command. And so this is the official documentation. And we open this page, and we navigate towards some examples as they are easier to see. And so we see that the conda config and add channel, that is the command we should use. And basically the description above it says it adds the channel, new channel to the top of the channel list. So that's the thing we want to use. And so suppose we are adding this conda forge channel still. Although we know that it is already there, we just want to try and to see what happens. And so basically we have this line there, and we want to type this line. And so we say conda configure and add this channels. And the name of this channel is conda forge. And we add enter. So it gives you a warning says the conda forge is already there. Yes, because it is there, and that's the reason we have this message. And we navigate towards our home directory on the machine, and this is the users, this is my name. We see that mamba forge is there, great. And another thing is also there, it's called conda rc. This is a file that, let's open it anyway. So we see that here's, it gives you the channels configured to this mamba. And so we see that only one channel is there, it's called conda forge. And so that's how the mamba system is recognizing how many channels or which channels are configured in a current setting. And so after this, and we add the channel, we know how to add the channel now, and we may try another one. Another popular channel is bioconda, and let's try this. So it gives you nothing. It gives you nothing, but let's see, let's reload this, and we see that the bioconda is added to the top. And so this shows that another channel has been added. Now we added this the channel, and let's see what is next. So next part is to create the environment. And so how to create the Python environment? We see that the create new conda environment, but let's go to the search engine again. So let's try to find, this is the official documentation, and let's open this page and create. So this is to create an environment is like this, and the my-env is the name of the environment, and we'll ask you if you want to proceed, and we can also specify the version of the Python. And so let's try this. Until here we know we can try. And so for here, let's also first see how many envs is already there. Let's try to do the conda list. Actually, it's conda in for envs. And so this gives you the current environment. So we only have base. We only have base in the current setting. And if we want to create another env, if for simple reason, let's call it, just give a simple name. So let's see, we can, of course, we can replace conda with mamba. So let's type mamba instead, and then create, this is -n means specify the name, and let's name it Python 310, probably that is a better name. And then we say it is Python equal to 3.10. And then we hit enter. And we see the mamba info there. And we can also see that it is searching through the bioconda and the conda forge, two channels there. It's searching through these two channels. And it takes some time. And then it sees, we see that this is the package. I think I suddenly hit something and it went directly go to downloading. So anyway, and it's downloading. Now it is done, and let's do the conda in for env again. Let's see. So now we see that another environment has been added, and it is here. And how can we switch to the new environment? It's mamba activate pi 310, and let's hit enter. So we see that the base has been changed to this pi 310. And let's do the conda info env again. We see that the star has been switched from the base to this new environment, which means that this one is currently active. So this is the part that create envs and activate the env. And so then we want to check what is already installed. So this is a command that mamba list. So this gives you a list that what kind of packages are currently there. And also we can update everything with a simple command. This is not available with pipe. So this is quite convenient for mamba and conda. So we just type mamba update and all. So it tells you that every package is already updated by itself. Let's try to create a new, open a new command line. And so we see that this is supposed to be the base. Yes, this is the base. And we also do this list. We see that more packages are listed under the base. And so we also want to do the update. So note that it is it was also searching through these two channels. And here is the upgrade updating specs, and these packages will be updated basically. And upgrade, yes. And so let's hit Y. So now it is done. And when we update a second time, it will show the same as here. Everything has been updated because that's the reason. And so that is the fourth step. List everything there and update everything. And then after that, we want to install some packages. So like the popular packages like numpy, scipy, and scikit-learn. And scikit-learn is a basic package for machine learning. And so let's try differently, that if we want to install one here and another there. Let's try this. Mamba install numpy under the base. So if we type Y directly here, it will install everything through and do not prompt the agree. So it will install everything just like that. And so if we are going back to the here, and if we say if we want to install this scipy, I think it depends on numpy as well. And we'll have some search time. So now, yes, it will have numpy installed as well. But we'll have scipy, which on the other one is not included. So when we hit Y here and confirm, so we see that basically there are some conflicts if you open two processes and install this via mamba at the same time, of course. So let's try this for a second time, and we do not interfere with the other. So let's, we can type the Python here first. We can see that this is the Python 10, Python 3.10.2, and we can also import the numpy. It should not be there yet. So that's right. And so if we are going back, we type exit. And if we want to deactivate this, we just mamba or conda and type deactivate. So then we just we are back to this base. And so then we active the Py 3.10 still. And we want to install this. Yes, we want to install this scipy. So while it is installing, and let's try to, yes, let's press yes. Let's come back to this base. And now if we type this Python, we can see that the base is using the Python 3.9.10. And so now, because we already installed this numpy, and we can import. Yes, and if we import scipy, because we didn't install it, and we haven't installed it yet, and so it says it's not there. So that's the thing we are expecting. So now, if we have installed both scipy and numpy on this side, it is Python 3.10, and let's type this Python, let's import this. Numpy should work, and then we import this scipy. It should also work. Great, so you see that's the difference, and so on one environment it is not there. However, on the other it is there, and so that's the difference. So using different environments, different Python environments, we can set up different packages, different requirements, and so for different purpose. This is a quite convenient way to resolve conflicts. So this is the Python installation, the package installation. Now we're going to set up the Jupyter. And so we are going to set up the Jupyter for base. And because Jupyter is more widely used, and so we just set it up under base. So basically, these are the packages we want to install. And so same, we just use the mamba. Install this, and the packages are named as Jupyter, notebook, and there's another package called jupyterlab, which offers another, basically it's a user interface. It's just appears differently, and you, some people like the notebook, some people like the jupyterlab. And so we just install both, and so we also just want to install it. We may navigate towards some useful Jupyter command. And so let's see Jupyter tutorial or Jupyter notebook, and let's see what is there in an introduction. And so this is the project Jupyter. And so we see this is the page of this Jupyter, and it introduces the jupyterlab here as well. And so this is a typical notebook, and it is showing both the codes interactively, and it's embedding some plots. And we can try some notebook there by ourselves. Yeah, and we can also install it. And so this is the web page, and there are some nice examples. see if it is already done. It's not yet. Let's try to see what is offered on this website. Try it on our browser. Try Jupyter and try this Jupyter notebook. So it opens the binder. So this is a nice way that if you want to get some quick coding, but you don't want to set up Python on your own machine. So this is the view of the Jupyter, and this is the run button, and this is the stop button. We are almost there. So we can add some cells, and we can, for example, we can print, we can, for I in range, and we say, can type some, we can do this import time, and so that we can let this one sleep for a while, and then we can check if the stop button is working. And so we say this is time sleep. Let's say sleep for 1 second, and then we save this, and then we run this. And when it is running, we see the stars there, and then we click the stop button, interrupt. So it stopped. So, and then if we want to kill this process, we can just click the stop button. And then after that, we can run some other cells. We don't have to run the cells from the very beginning to the very end. We can jump from one to another. So now this is done, and we can start our Jupyter from our local machine. And we leave this page, and we come back to this command line, and we type Jupyter notebook. Nice, it opens here. So we see that it gives you a view of folders and everything else. Where is this? So actually, we see that we run this Jupyter command from here, and this directory actually is pointing to this directory. And so we may copy this directory here, and we suppose we copy this, and we went back here, and we see that it is the view of this Jupyter notebook. And we also see that this is a bit large, and I think some of the files are not shown. So like this one is not shown. You see the last one is the video. And so we may create some new files, and we create a new notebook, and it opens here, and we name it as test1. Rename it as test1. Test1 is here, and so then we see that the test1 is here. So this view is actually this view. So if we change the directory that's where we run this notebook command, and this view will also be changed directly accordingly. And so basically this directory is here, is where we run this Jupyter command. And so we can also run the notebook, the lab, the Jupyter lab, and so we can also stop this, and we run this jupyterlab. This is just another view of the Jupyterlab with a different field. This is the Jupyterlab. So that's what we see, and we can also open this file. So this one is combining a file view with the notebook view. And we can type something like, this is a test, and we change this to a markdown, change it to a title, and then we run this cell. So this is a test, and we print hello. So this is the cell that you're going to run the code. And we can also change something there, and for example, make it dark, and this will give you another change the appearance. And so now where are we? So we have already installed the Jupyter notebook and jupyterlab, and now we're going to run some commands here. And so not only Python code can be run in a cell, and we can also, for example, we can try to run this mamba command as well. And we can say we want to install this, let's install this pandas, which is a library for data frames. And we press yes, and let's run this. What happens if we create another one? It is there. So I think it's just getting slow. And so this one is searching through these two channels, and then it is done already. So then we can try to import pandas. Yes, it is there. So we can run, basically we can run the commands just by like this. Well, that is all for today, and thank you for your time.